So I have like a new little plant growing here. It's supposed to be a what is it? A rainbow chrysanthemum or something like that. I believe. Of course, it could be any of this other seeds that were previously planted that just didn't come out until now. That's what happened with this one. It just came out when it felt like it, and it's good that it came out later than the others, and that I put it in a different container than the others, because the others are all full and dead. Whereas this one still is growing pretty well. So I'm trying not to water them too much. I think that's my labs, but I put a little bit of, I've been putting some sprays on these dead looking ones, and I think they almost look a little bit rejuvenated. It's not so apparent in this one, but I put a little bit of spray on the other one, and it's got some little stems standing up already, so maybe a little bit of, so I'm keeping this spray bottle close by, just in case I'm actually doing something good, and, you know, I'm spraying the roots of this orchid and stuff, and even this one, the roots seem to be coming out, so that might mean that the orchid might survive somehow, find a way of reproducing the plant. You know, it's pretty obvious, like these little tendrils are still alive, so the only thing is the body of it looks pretty dead, so it's supposed to look like that. And it looks sort of brown and dead, so I'm not sure if it can survive, but I'll just keep on watering it. But the roots are growing out, so these roots down here are starting to come out, so it means that the plant might be alive or something yet, and has a faint chance of surviving. I'm not sure, but back to this little plant. I have a theory that these little stems, when they come out, they're coming out as like little two-piece flower buds sort of thing, like two-piece leaves or something. So sort of like that, but in a more rounded version. And I have some growth coming in a plant outside, and it's coming up like a stem of green grass or something, whereas this one's coming out in a little bit of a two leaf stems that's going to come out and flower. So I have a theory that because of the light and the warmth of the soil, maybe this two leaf stemming is actually a sign that it's not getting enough heat for it to come out like a blade of grass. Of course, I could be totally wrong. It could be like a totally different plant that's just stemming right now. But the other one outside that's grown out of a pot is like a blade of grass, and this one's more like a two-piece leaf that's gonna expand and grow up. So I'm just wondering, like, is that like a premature image? Whereas the one outside's more like a blade of grass, so it might come out like a stronger plant, but possibly it's got less light and heat on it, so maybe it's a bit premature or something. Because often these plants grow and they die. These ones are growing quite strongly in the other plant, but they began to look like they were dying, so I strung them up to some support, which is what those two cotton buds are, with sticky tape and little stringy stuff. So I'm not sure whether it'll survive, but even this one looked like it was totally dying, and I put it in with a little bit of tape around its base to keep it supported, and it seems to be still alive, whereas if I'd kept it where it was, it would be rotting and dying. So I'm just sort of experimenting with all this, tying to some support and sticky tape around it and stuff. I don't really believe it's stuck to the sticky tape. I've just got the sticky tape around it so the leaves don't just lay down on the soil and stuff. So I'm hoping all these little measures may help to revive or keep the plants growing, because, you know, I think a portion of allowing them to lay on the soil and let them decompose, like, is just like is what's is why they're dying. You know, I think they can still be saved yet, so I'm experimenting on different measures on how to keep them off the soil and sort of save them. And I sort of finally theorized, support sticks and things. So I just sort of did what I can with what I have available. I first tried it on this stem thing, which came with the but that was a little bit too big, so I'm just doing experiments with these sort of things. So cotton buds with little bits of stringy stuff is this is actually jewelry elastic. You're supposed to put jewelry beads on it and stuff, but jewelry, but so it's kind of stretchy and stuff, and so I'll just sort of put all that together to try and support it. And I'm putting like frequent water sprays on the plants to see if that will rejuvenate any growth. But I'm not sure whether it's working, but I would hope that it could. So I'll just keep them all strung up and then see if they get any stronger, as time passes. This plant, it looks like it has a fairly strong root, but it doesn't really look like it's got strong leaves, so I'm just spraying all these tendrils down here and the tips on leaves to see if it recovers, but I'm not sure whether that plant will recover. I sort of want it to. But the forget-me-not plant that I put outside definitely isn't going to recover. It's kind of looking really dead. I was thinking about moving it inside so it could get a dose of spraying, but it looks kind of like ash gray, and that's usually a sign of complete deadness. But I don't know. At the moment, it's just surviving the natural environment, like weather and stuff, because I'm not convinced that being inside is the best thing for plants. Plants outside seem to be stronger, and I think it's because from the time when they're growing, they're exposed to natural elements that might be better conditions for them or something. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying these ones are kind of weak, growing indoors, being pampered with, frequent waters. I'm not really sure whether any of it's any good, and the light, I'm not sure whether this filtered light that comes through the window is any good for them and stuff, so, but I don't know. I started putting plants outside because, who I live with has plants, and they put them outside, and their plants are big and strong, so I began experimenting putting them outside. Some plants really love it, other plants don't, but these plants were wilting, so I put them outside. They wilted some more, and now I'm trying to help them to recover, but I don't know if they will. None of them are really standing up anymore, and it was a very strong growing plant before it started looking wilted. And same with the other one here. This one was kind of a really strong plant, but a lot of them have wilted. But some of them here is making a bit of a comeback, so it might be my leading plant yet. So that one is supposed to be a nice, pretty plant, but it's sort of shriveled up and stuff, and I'm not sure if it'll ever recover, but it's sort of there. So this one doesn't flower properly, so it's the thing about that plant. It's nice and big, but doesn't flower. And this one has a growing vine, that's okay, but I might have to replant that later on, because it and this one has something new growing, but I'm not sure what it is that's growing, but it should be a rainbow chrysanthemum. I don't even